Hi everyone, in this lesson we're going to be looking at Are You With Me, which was recorded in 2012 by Easton Corbin and then later covered by Lost Frequencies. And in this lesson we're going to have a look at both versions. Now we're going to start with the ostinato. Now if you don't know, an ostinato is a melodic phrase that keeps repeating, often throughout an entire song. Now in the Easton Corbin version that was played on an acoustic guitar, but I think in the Lost Frequencies version it was probably played using an electric guitar. So this is how it goes. This pattern starts on the 13th fret of both the G string and the low E string. It then moves down so that your second finger is on the 10th fret of the G string and your first finger is on the 9th fret of the E string. Then to the 5th fret of the G and 4th fret of the E string. And then finally the 12th fret of the G and 11th fret of the E. Okay, so start off just by moving between these shapes, plucking the strings together. Okay, when you're comfortable with that, the next thing to do is to syncopate the bass notes. That means moving the bass notes off of the beat, like this. Okay, so that's always playing the G string on the beat and the E string on the and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then do the same for the other two shapes. Now I'm using my fingers to pluck the strings, but you can use a pick. In fact, I have one here. And this is actually how it's done on the Easton Corbin version. Now, if you're going to use a pick, you need to use a technique called outside picking. So that's where you actually move the pick over the strings before playing them. And you're going to need to play the beats with an upstroke and the ands with a downstroke, like this. Notice that I play through that twice, but on the second time I finish on the third beat of the bar. So on this shape up here at the 11th and the 12th frets, on the second go you'll have 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So in the Easton Corbin version the ostinato is played quite slowly. It's sort of like this. Whereas in the Lost Frequencies version, it's played a bit quicker, more like this. So if you're looking to play the Lost Frequencies version, all you need to do is practice it a bit more just to bring up the speed a little bit. So that's pretty much it for the Lost Frequencies guitar part. So we'll now have a look at the chords needed for Easton Corbin's version. So the first thing you're going to need to do is to put a capo on the first fret. And then the chords we need are an E minor, so that is your third finger on the second fret of the D string and your second finger on the second fret of the A string. We then have a C add 9, so that's your little finger on the third fret of the top E string, your third finger on the third fret of the B string, your first finger on the second fret of the D string, and your second finger on the third fret of the A string. We then have a G chord, so for this one, leave your third and fourth fingers where they are, and just move your first and your second fingers across one string, so that our first finger is now on the second fret of the A string, and our second finger is on the third fret of the low E string. And finally we have a D chord, so that's your second finger on the second fret of the top E string, your first finger on the second fret of the G string, and your third finger on the third fret of the B string. So the first verse of the song is pretty much just using the ostinato that we looked at earlier, and then the strumming comes in on the second verse. So the verse section starts by playing one bar of E minor, then one bar of the C add 9, one bar of the G, one bar of the D, and that repeats. E minor, C add 9, G, D. We then go to the chorus, which starts off with one bar of C add 9, then 2 beats on the G, and 2 beats on the D. You then play that another 2 times, so C add 9, G, D, C add 9, G, D, you then have one bar of the C add 9, and then another final strum on the C add 9, and you leave that to sustain for the next bar. You then go through the verse again. We then have the chorus. And this time at the end of the chorus, instead of playing one bar of the C add 9, we play it for 2 bars. One bar of the G, one bar of the C add 9 again, one bar of the E minor, and one bar of the D. We then played the chorus again, this time played exactly the same way you did the first time. Then at the end there's a little outro section, and for this you're going to play one bar of E minor followed by one bar of C add 9, and you play that 4 times in all, just doing a single strum of the C add 9 to finish the song off. That goes. Okay, so for the strumming pattern, he uses a 16th note rhythm throughout, and it sounds to me like he's just sort of playing whatever feels right. There's no strict strumming pattern, but what I'll do is I'll show you the strumming pattern that I sort of fell into as I was playing along with it, just to give you some idea of what will work. Okay, so that is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so with some chords. Okay, so thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, would you please give me a thumbs up below, and don't forget to subscribe to more of my videos, and I will see you next time.